How y'all doing? I'm the Watchman, and this is part two of Pope Francis meeting with Obama, found in prophecy. Now, I was asked to do a part two, so of course, like I said many times, uh, a lot of times when y'all request something, it's from my father. It's from my father, and there actually is a part two, and a lot that people don't know that's we're being kept hid from. Of course, that there's so much that the devil is keeping hid from us, but it's a must we share what we know. And on top of this, I want to show the beauty of revelation. I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine named Brandy. She said, "This is so depressing and can get you down because it seems so large when and so heavy a weight. It's sobering when you see everything coming to pass and the things that we have to do." I say just search for God daily. Try to be like Mary Magdalene and be found at his feet daily. Daily consecrate yourself. Daily search your character. Daily plead with him to take any faults or flaws out of your character. It's not easy at all. It's not easy. But we have a God who understands. As it says in Hebrews, we have a high priest who knows what we wrestle with. So let him find you earnestly trying. And I believe that's what God is looking for. Someone who is earnestly striving to clean out their characters, to be the best person they could be, but also someone who is earnestly seeking to save others. It's all right to say, I hope Jesus come, and I can't wait till Jesus get here. But what saddens me is uh, uh, I don't hear a lot of people saying, man, there's so many people I have to reach before it's over. There's so many people I have to reach. Let's have that mentality. I personally believe that is what God is looking for. Someone who is saying in their heart, Father, give us one more day. There's 5 more people I can reach. There's 10 more people I can reach. Just give me one more day. Not for myself, Father, but for those people who don't know the truth, or who don't know your love. So I'm going to definitely show the beauty of Revelation, because I'm going to get to it, but let's just say there's a bright spot, couple bright spots in Revelation that we're going to touch on. But anyway, if you watch part 1 of this, we find that Revelation 13 actually foretells the union of the beast. You have the beast, which we know is the Roman Catholic Church. It receives the wound by General Berthier in 1798, and this wound was healed by Mussolini in 1929. And then we see in Revelation 13:11, we see another beast coming upon the scene, which we know is America. Now, America, instead of being this dominant world superpower by itself, America is a servant to this beast. America is like the child of this beast, but America never comes into its own. Instead, America brings life back to the image of this first beast. And so that is America's whole aim. When you look at Revelation 13:11 through the end of the chapter, it's America's whole aim is to resurrect this first beast who had the deadly wound, which was healed. And that is why the meeting between the Pope and Obama, and then our Congress, for the first time in history, calling a Pope to speak at a joint session, it is major, because we see this image being resurrected. And like I said, like I always stress, don't take my word for it. The truth loves investigation. When the Roman Catholic Church ruled the known world, it was hectic, y'all. Over 200 million Christians were died, and that's not the correct number. There was no way possible for them to keep track of every single person that was killed, murdered, and slaughtered and tortured. There was no way. So that number is actually a low number. 200 million? But anyway, check this out. beloved. Check this out. And that's why I'm so glad that my good friend Timothy asked me to do a part 2 on this. Let's go to the three angels message. The three angels, and why this is being kept from the churches, and why you'll see right here why it is so vital. Go to Revelations 14. Revelation 14. Now the first angel message is verse 7. We look at verse 7. It says, "Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven, earth, the sea, and the fountains of waters." And we understand that to be 1844. If you understand 1844 and what happened with the William Millerite, the Millerite movement, was that there was this great awakening to Bible prophecy. And even though William Miller was wrong in his interpretation, because God clearly said don't put a date and time on anything. He said even the angels don't know when the second coming. Even Christ doesn't know. Only God the Father knows when the second coming will be. But anyway, they put a date, but there was a great religious awakening throughout America and really throughout the world, because the word had spread throughout the world. And so you had people studying and giving away, selling their goods, giving their hearts to God, spending days upon days praying and trying to get things out of their character. I stand to ask the question, if those people honestly thought God was coming, Jesus was coming back in 1844, and we see how they lived their life, spending days and hours in prayer, searching their souls, communing together, making sure they had no faults or flaws or no grudges against one another, coming together in love. So many times we say that we believe Jesus is coming back today, but are we living like it? Are we really living like it? When they thought Jesus was coming back, at that certain time period in that day, they lived like it. They earnestly lived like it. Are we living like it? Are you living like you really believe Jesus is coming back any second? And that probation for each of us could close any second. Just a question. But anyway, that was the first. And we see the second angel's message is Revelation 14 verse 8. And it says, "And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of fornication." Now we understand when Babylon, that mixture between political and religion, politics and religion, this mixture. But we understand this to be the Protestant churches. Why does it say they've fallen twice? Well, beloved, you look at the Council of Trent, where Archbishop Riggio came, and you had the reformers pit against the Catholics, and the reformers, almost won. They almost won. It said Archbishop Riggio. See, the reformers' motto was solo scriptura, meaning the Bible and Bible alone. And a lot of the Catholic princes were starting to be won over, because they said, "Wow, shouldn't we really be living by the Bible and Bible alone?" And I know it was the devil who whispered in Archbishop Riggio's ear. He said, "Psst, psst, hold on." Now, after 18 years of litigation, I believe it was 18 years. After 18 years of going back and forth, Archbishop Riggio came to the table and said, "Hold on, you reformers claim to be living, you Protestants, you reformers claim to be living by Bible and Bible alone, but you keep Sunday. We instituted Sunday." He said the Bible institutes Saturday as the Sabbath. We, the Catholic Church, instituted Sunday. This is our mark, our day that we consecrated. The Bible, God consecrated Saturday. So y'all follow Sunday. Y'all aren't living solo scriptura. And the Protestant movement lost the Council of Trent because of that. Now, instead of them changing their thoughts and saying, "You know what, you're right, we need to start worshiping on Saturday," instead of doing that, they just bowed their head, said, "You're right, you instituted Sunday." And instead of them changing and just worshiping on the day that God instituted, they bowed their head and followed suit. And that was the first falling. The second falling is something like you'll see, like we saw the other day when Tony Palmer had all the the leaders in the Pentecostal and charismatic movements, evangelical movements, stand up. We're Catholic now. Woo! We're Catholic. We're Catholic. Babylon is falling. It's falling. It's that false prophet. That false prophet that's spoken of in this threefold union. The beast, the false prophet, and the dragon. But anyway, what I wanted to touch on with the Pope meeting with Obama, with when you have America reforming this image of the Catholic Church, instituting this image again, which forced religion worship. It forced man's conscience. This is what the image that we're gonna see. We're gonna see forced again. You know, that's why the laws like the NDAA was put into place, where they can lock you up for life with no question, no trial, none of that. A lot of these religious leaders, including myself, they just gonna come try to snatch up, lock up, kill, throw in these FEMA camps. But anyway, let's read it. Verse 9. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image. Remember, America's gonna reinstitute, resurrect the beast back to life and make an image. And God says, if any man worships the beast in his image and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, check this out, y'all. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mercy. Without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Can you imagine, beloved, the wrath of God? It says without mixture. That means without mercy. No mercy is going to be in it. Like the tsunami that hit Japan not too long ago, a couple years back, that had mercy in it. Can you imagine God's wrath with no mercy? I don't want to face God's wrath with mercy. Can you imagine facing it without mercy? Beloved, this is what the devil doesn't want you to know about this third angel's message. You know, this is why this needs to be taught, so you can make a conscious choice, so you can see the heaviness of the times, so you can see that, hey, this is a crucial time we're living in. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. This is if you worship the beast and his image that America sets up. If you go along with it, if you keep worshiping on the day that they set up to worship, they're gonna, like say, when America tries to set up, when he sets up this image again, it's gonna force worship. And lines are gonna be drawn. It's going to say you can't buy or sell anything unless you worship how we say worship. This is what's spoken in Revelation 13:11 through the end of the chapter. So God is saying, if you conform and go along with this, you're going to drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture. Now, beloved, it says, into the cup of his indignation. Beloved, why do you see at the end of that chapter where it says, why do you think is that they're going to have to drink it in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb? Because I tell you, beloved, at the cross, this is the tragedy of the cross. This was the major tragedy of the cross. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he pleaded 3 different times, Father, let this cup pass from me. This was the cup that he was pleading. Jesus did not want to drink the cup of the wine of the wrath of God. Jesus already drunk this for all of us. Can you imagine the size of the cup that he drank? And so for when we worship the beast in his image, we're denying the gift that Jesus did. So you're going to have to drink the cup for yourself. Jesus is going to say, you didn't want to take my substitute? Then you're going to have to drink it. I already drunk it for you. But you don't want my gift, so go ahead, drink it on your own. And see, the angels had to stand and witness Christ drink the cup of the wine of the wrath of God when he was on that cross. That is why they're going to be standing here witnessing it then. That tore their heart into pieces to see Jesus drink the wine of the wrath of his Father, and he committed no sin. So, beloved, choose you this day. The devil doesn't want you to make a conscious choice. He doesn't want you to know about the wine of the wrath of God. And there will be a last part to this.